Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Farmer. Today we are here and we're speaking with Mr. Solomon Brathwaite, a young, promising farmer from Brathwaite. We are here to talk about his farming life, to see where it all started for him and where he intends to go to in relation to his farming life. Hi, Mr. Brathwaite. First of all, can you introduce yourself for the listening public, or to the listening public?
I'm Solomon Brathwaite from Brathwaite, age of 36.
Okay. So you're pretty young. Can you tell us when and where this all started for you?
Alright, well, I started doing full-time farming about 5 years back. But I used to do my little thing on a small scale in Mama Can and then with my father and my mom here. So, about 5 years now I've been doing full-time farming.
But you would say that you would have, grown up with your dad and probably your grandparents doing this, so you must have learned a lot from them.
Yeah, well, basically my father and my mother, since I know myself that is what they're doing, so I used to always be in the land up and down. Yeah. My grandfather used to do farming all this portion of land. He used to farm here.
Right.
Yeah, farming for over 40 years. And now I come and take care of them.
Okay. What type of crops do you plant here?
Well, I do a wide variety of crops: watermelon, tomatoes, cabbage, cauliflower, salad pepper, cucumbers, a wide variety as well, corn too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any particular reason why you chose to get into those crops?
Well, not really, but you see, based on market wise, I think this is one of the most selling crops on the market. Crops on the market. Yeah.
And out of all of those that you mentioned, do you have a favorite?
Tomatoes.
And why so?
Well, tomatoes is a selling tomatoes and watermelon. They sell faster than any other two other crops.
Okay.
Any other crops. These two sell faster than any other crops. So, and it's a fast turnover, so you make a quicker profit with these crops than the other, because they have wheat and so forth.
Good. And how much land are you working with?
Approximately around 9 to 10 acres.
Okay. And is all of it cultivated?
Yeah, well, basically both 9 to 10 acres. Yeah. Everything doesn't ready at the same time, but yeah.
What would you say over the years, over the 5 years that you started farming, what would you say is the best farming technique, the best agronomic practice that would have worked for you over the years?
Well, everybody have different techniques and different ways of doing things. But my technique is make sure the soil is properly plowed and properly drainage, because sort of they more on the kind of slope.
Okay.
So I have to have proper drainage for the water to run out, because during the rain season I don't have a lot of problems with the water. But as time goes by, I get a little technique how to work it out. You understand how to get it, and because I used to run drain across the land, but now as time goes by, when I get to understand, you have to run it down when the rain comes, so all the water should run out faster, so I get better crops during the rainy time.
What would you say farming has taught you as a young man?
I learned a lot from it since I know myself in farming full time. I learned a lot from it. Business wise, if you don't take farming as a business, I don't think you could ever make it in farming. Because it's a business, you have to have a lot of belly. You have to, because there's a lot of struggle. Sometimes you're having problem with workers, and that is one of my problems here too, with workers. I don't have dedicated workers. If I have dedicated workers as myself, I think I should be, in the next 5-10 years going down the line, I should be one of the top farmers on the island. You understand? So now, just taking it one day at a time.
What would you say would be the most important thing a young person would want to know before getting into farming?
Well, it's a lot of challenges because sometimes getting into farming, you will think, well, somebody might plant a piece of tomatoes, a 10 tree of tomatoes, and they might get you with it. Market, they might fall on a good market. But that doesn't take it, you have to take it from there to make it where you want to make it. Because you will plant 10 tree of tomatoes and get you with it, and then so now you plant the next 10 and you don't get you with it, and you will say, oh, I don't want to go back into farming. But farming is based on your mindset, that you have to know what you want from that business. And if you don't know what you want, you don't make a sense you go into it because you keep spending money and you're not making it back.
You mentioned market. What are your market sources?
Well, one of my main market sources is Real Value. I sell to all them other supermarkets, food care, Foodland, and I sell to local vendors, market import. Yes. That's my main source.
So it's not difficult for you?
It's not so difficult for me market-wise. I have no set of problem marketing my goods. No.
What is your let's say 3 to 5 year goal for this week?
Well, I have a lot of things planned out, because I want to do a shed up there with a storage, because I want to do a lot of different crops and I want to do it at a much larger scale. That's why I accumulate so much land. So I want to have a proper storage, and then I'm looking to get a machine to wash it, like how they wash the watermelon. I want to get a machine to wash them crops on them so I could move a little faster, because sometimes I don't like to sell no stale produce. I like to harvest my produce and then go the same day and sell it off, drop it off.
Anything specific you would say that your grandfather or your father taught you?
Well, my grandfather used to teach me a lot. My father taught me a lot too, but my grandfather was one of my greatest inspiration. He always used to tell me, dip your hand in the soil. He say everything that comes on top of the soil comes from the bottom of the soil. That the on top of the soil comes from the bottom of the soil. And I never really understand what he was trying to tell me until I get into farming and see it for myself. You understand? I see how because it's a fast income. Once you dedicate to it, you get a fast income because every day people have to eat. So he used to always tell me, when he said the rain coming, once you get a little rain, a little sun, a little rain, a little sun, plant a seed. That's what he used to always tell me. And my father gave me good inspiration too. Tell me the other time I used to go down trader and construction work, and I tell him, I say, Daddy, I don't think I could handle this construction work again. And he say, man, just stay in the garden and relax yourself. And then that's where I really kind of stick to the garden thing and get myself deeply into the farm. Because I used to planting and leave it here for them and go in Trinidad. I spent about 3 years doing construction in Trinidad. Back, go in and come, go and come. I just decided, and then because he going down in age and I see all the language just stay there, let me just stay here and he's so proud of me now. Yeah, he's so proud of me now. So because he wasn't doing that large scale of farming, he only had about 2 acres. Take 2 acres and he couldn't even do it for himself. The 2 acres, he couldn't cultivate the 2 acres, and look at me now. I'm doing much more than what he was doing. I guess he's so proud of me.
I can hear how much you love farming. What would you say you love most about it?
Well, the most I love about farming is to see the crop growing and it's nice and green and you could get a good harvest from it. That is what I like to see, that you take care of your plant and you see that it comes through very nice, that you get good fruit, quality fruits from it. And that is what I really love to see, watch your plant grow. And so now I sit down in the moonlight here, just sit down and just watch the plants and I see something very nice and just the way that I want it to grow, but just the way that it's supposed to grow. It gives me like a cool feeling to just sit down and just watch it grow all night. You understand? Yeah, and then
it's almost like a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah. Like you see something, you see an accomplishment, and you see that your hard work could bring something. Yeah.
People have this negative notion about farming. farming. It's dirty, hard work. You know, we don't child in the that farming is for them. What do you have to say about that type of thinking?
I believe this kind of negative thinking come from school. You see, that's just my opinion. Because agriculture in school, what they really teach you, they don't teach you at a business point of view. They just only teach you agriculture, basic agriculture. They don't show you the money that you could make, the profit that you could make out of it, and use it like a business. They just only see farming like, oh, this man dirty farming, he doing, he do. But farming is a science behind it. Farming is like taking care of a baby. You understand? Because you have to take care of a plant, and sometimes a doctor, you'll go to a doctor, for example, you have to tell the doctor what's wrong with you.
Right.
But you have to detect what's wrong with a plant. If you don't detect what's wrong with a plant, how are you supposed to grow? You cannot grow like that. So, I think the problem coming in from the school educating people about farming, much more educating people, you have to educate people more about farming from school. So they will learn that that is not a dirty work, that is not a hard work. It's just a matter of dedication. You have to dedicate to what you have to, what you want to do. You understand? Because, just for example, you come out from TAM CC, you get all your agriculture subject whatsoever, and you want to do farming, but you don't have no source of income to start off with. I would say there's no kind of institution that you will say, let me go to that institution to get a $5,000 to start, to maybe get a pump or get a two-liner irrigation system. You know, so it's kind of hard to start out without having a proper income or system in place for people who just starting or want to get into farming. So they will see it like a difficult path to start. They will rather go do construction or go in some office and work, you understand? So it's a kind of difficult path to start, but once you get going, I think, and you love what you do, I think you should be on the right track. Okay.
Any advice you would want to give to prospective farmers?
That's really what.
Let's just say, take for example, let's just say you have a son, and that son is probably thinking about following in your footsteps. What would you say to him to encourage him?
Well, you see, right now in the farming business now, everything look at technology to make it work easier. You understand? So you have to think about studying some part of technology, like going to the hydroponic farming, which would be easier, because nowadays children growing up nowadays, they don't want to do this kind of hard set of work. They more believe in the computerized system. Once they get into the computerized system, and I think that is where we should go as farmers in Grenada here, because we just have a lot of loss when the rain and things fall in. Sometimes during the dry season you have water problem and all them kind of things. So I think we should get into the technology system as farmers, you know, the hydroponic system, you know, and try to do a little bit more organic kind of crop. Yeah, so
There's one question I want to ask you. What is your take on fertilization?
well, fertilization is a must, when you're doing a large scale of farming. You understand? If you're doing small thing, you use your little pen manure, but you must give the plants and them some nitrogen, some, you know, potash, and the manure. I use a large scale of manure because the quantity of crops that I have.
In terms of pests and diseases, how has that been for you over the years?
Well, that's been very challenging, because I have a lot of problem with the mites, the flower moth, and the palm tubes. So, and these chemicals are very expensive to treat these plants, and one chemical might cost over $200 to use to just a small bottle to treat these plants, and they're very, very expensive. So that's one of the most challenging part I have with the pest and disease. Yeah, some of this. Yeah.
What was the support system like for you over the years?
Support
In
system.
terms of, I know you had support from your family. in terms of maybe the ministry, the extension officers? How has that been?
Well, I had good support from the extension officers. They always visit me. They always keep me up in mind of what really taking place. They always have me on point. Yeah. So I don't really have no problem with them. They support me a lot. They give me a lot of incentive. Yeah.
And finally, as a farmer, a full-time farmer, do you have any like an outlook in terms of where you would want to see agriculture go, propel to?
Well, there's a lot into that. Agriculture in Grenada here it's kind of slow, but I think some of the imported goods that we the country importing, I think they should kind of pull up on that and try to use more local stuff, and they should put certain system in place. We should have a proper data system on farmers, that what crops that farmers are growing, so you have a proper system in place that you could tell a farmer, hey, that man plant three tomatoes, you need to plant cabbage, or you need to plant braco flower, or you need to plant watermelon. So nothing wouldn't be scarce, everything would be selling, and you shouldn't have no glut and no market. You should have a smooth flow of selling. So
Do you think, in your opinion, that the country has enough farmers?
yeah, they have enough farmers to support Grenadians. They really have enough farmers to support Grenadians. But sometimes, farmers does lapse sometimes too, but you have a few dedicated farmers and a few farmers who you could rely on. You understand? So I think once proper system get into place, we have enough food. Maybe we could export. Understand?
All right, guys. So there you have it. We were speaking there with Mr. Brathwaite on his farming life. So we're gonna say goodbye to him now and see you next time on the next episode of Meet the Farmer.